If you are a new or even a seasoned silver stacker, then you need to heed this warning. Let's explore! There's a lot of excitement around silver, especially during times when the markets are reacting dramatically, when the price moves in an upwards direction, and especially when we see more media attention paid to the metal. A lot of new stackers have joined the fray in the past couple of years, and for the most part, at least from what I've seen, most of those people have stuck around. However, some people have been disillusioned over silver's performance, many people thinking, well, it should be a lot more than what it is. The silver squeeze movement didn't do much back when it was started back in 2021. It had a marginal impact, but nonetheless, I do think the idea of what silver is about and the education provided during that time, I think, was quite valuable. But a lot of it has to do with how silver's reaction and silver's price performance has been throughout not only modern history, but through the history of the world, really since silver was even recognized as a form of money. And that happened about 700 BC. In fact, the first coins were a mixture of gold and silver. Electrum is the metal. But nonetheless, throughout the ages, we have seen a lot of snake oil salesmen and a lot of fake silver and a lot of scams and schemes that have gone around the metal throughout the years. In fact, that's one of the things people think of about a warning for silver is fakes, and that's certainly a legitimate thing to think about, and why you will see many more fake silver coins than gold coins out there. But that's just it. And a lot of this based off of people's ignorance, and they fall victim and prey to these scams, or it's either their ignorance or greed. They think, well, they're getting a good deal. And with the internet these days, it becomes even more viable of an option. But it's not just the internet where people fall prey to some of these schemes and scams. It can also be over the phone. And that's where this warning comes into play. I'm going to be referencing an article that talks about a recent settlement that has occurred with the CFTC and 29 other state regulators against a particular precious metals company that's still in existence. Their website is still up, at least if it's the same one that I'm seeing there, from California, Safeguard Metals. Safeguard Metals, and the owner, who went by a different name, that should tell you something there. They've reached an agreement, a settlement. And the thing is, I guess it was more of a civil matter, not a criminal thing, which is why you should watch out. Because what is this? They've engaged in a $68 million fraudulent scheme that mainly targeted the elderly. And that is a real problem, folks, because, and it's not to say that all elderly are susceptible to this type of thing. There's plenty of sharp-minded and skeptical older folks out there that are wise to these kind of tricks. In fact, wisdom is part of the attributes for an older person. But for some that may be going through mild dementia or other things, or can fall prey to tactics maybe not seen or used earlier in their life, especially with regards to some of the tactics they use over the phone and even on the internet. Well, some of those people, those kind of vulnerabilities are taken advantage of. And that's exactly what happened here, especially if those people are maybe suffering a little bit from dementia of some sort, and other ailments, and they get desperate. And, it's really horrible that people would take advantage of anyone, much less the elderly. This consent order, the finding, saw that between October of 2017 and July 2021, Safeguard Metals and Econ deceived more than 450 customers nationwide into purchasing precious metals through false and misleading statements, including misrepresenting Safeguard's and Econ's credentials and the risk of safety to customer investment in traditional retirement accounts. Safeguard Metals engaged in fraudulent and deceptive practices to solicit millions of dollars primarily from elderly and retirement age individuals for profit. As a result, customers suffered substantial losses on their retirement investments. By joining this settlement, all these states came together to do this. It ordered fines that the defendants charge an average markup of 51 to 71% on the precious metals, which was substantially more than the amounts the defendants represented in Safeguard Metals customer agreements, as operating margins of anywhere between 23 and 42%, which is still a lot. Safeguard Metals steered over 97% of its sales from mostly inexperienced investors into overpriced silver coins. They target silver coins. There's a lot more room to scam with silver coins. And that's the key here, folks, which is why you got to be careful when buying silver. And 97% of its sales went there. Significantly higher markups than gold coins, and generated approximately $66 million for Safeguard. The defendants consent to the use of the consent orders, findings, and conclusions in this action and any subsequent actions between parties, but otherwise neither admit nor deny the findings. So, part of the court-approved settlement, Safeguard and Econ agreed to a permanent injunction that enjoins them from violating several federal and state laws, including laws that prohibit commodities fraud, securities, and investment advisor fraud, and providing unlicensed investment advice. So they can't do this anymore, apparently, according to this order. At least legally, they can't do it anymore. They certainly won't have any jail time because this is really more of a civil matter. But will they pay back some of the losses? Nothing in there that I've seen from any of these stories that I've looked at where I could see anything where they have done that, where they actually pay back what they have defrauded the peoples. So it's crazy. Anyway, so they were engaged in this fraudulent and deceptive practices, and but there are substantial losses on their retirement investments. But yet, there's nothing that I've seen in any story that I've read about this piece where the settlement had occurred where they have to pay them back. I've looked around and I can't find anything there. I even went to the CFTC's website and didn't see anything about this. Unless I'm missing something here about what they are required to do. That just they cannot engage in selling anything like that anymore, or getting into business to sell precious metals anymore. But indeed, the lesson here, folks, is to just be very wary, because these kind of criminals, and they will speed off with your money, and they will take your money in a heartbeat and lie and do whatever they can. They're taking advantage of your ignorance on things like precious metals, what's considered a high value coin or not. And silver, there's a lot more room for a markup anyway in the normal market. In fact, if I was a bullion dealer, I'd focus much more heavily on silver because the markups are much more profitable there than on gold coins. The premiums are all across the board with silver coins than gold coins. It's a much more profitable business getting into silver than gold. And given gold's high price and high gold to silver ratio now, even if you could tell somebody, hey, this is a good value, and mark it up so much on a gold coin, well, most people can't afford that high premium above gold. And so therefore it's not as lucrative and not as believable, and just not able to sucker somebody out of money they don't have or can't produce at any given time. When you tell them that you can make a lot of money and it's much better, and you're getting a really good deal on a silver coin, and it's much easier to digest, $150 for a coin that really should be worth about $50, than it would be for a several $1,000 gold coin. So that's why this warning is more apt to silver. Silver is really a metal that is great to have for all income levels, but mostly lower income levels can afford to get some silver. But if there is some ignorance in the markets and you don't educate yourself with the value of certain silver coins, you can be taken for a ride, and you'll be on a fast ride to being scammed. And this video serves as a reminder to do your own due diligence and research on this metal, because it's not just about fake silver. It is indeed about finding silver coins and bars that are being perceived to be of high value and overpaying for them. And there's several tips on how to avoid that. Is to find out what spot price, understand what spot price is, understand what premiums are, and what is a normal premium for the market that we might be in at any particular point in time. For instance, we were paying much higher premiums for silver eagles for quite a number of quite a number of months rather. Silver eagles were going for high money, but it wasn't a scam because everybody was kind of paying the same price. Now, you would have been wise not to pay those premiums at the time. Many of you did not, but nonetheless, they were a part of the marketplace. Those high premiums were. And so be careful with people saying, hey, buy these silver eagles. And because now those high premiums are gone and they're still trying to sell them to you at those high premiums. So be very wary of that type of thing, number one. Number two is that silver has a variety of different forms and a variety of different ways that it can be sold. Understanding the price and how the breakdown of that price has occurred, well, you very well may find yourself at night, late at night, watching a TV program, and out comes somebody on there wanting to sell you some silver coins. And this is a great deal because these silver coins have a limited mintage, or they're only going to be available this 1 year only for this limited amount of time. Do not fall victim to some of the tactics and half-truths that are spewed on TV. Always do your own due diligence and research, and before buying anything from television, from radio ads, or print ads on magazines, newspapers, and the like. And anybody that is wanting to buy your silver from you, especially if they're on a newspaper, and they say, be here at this time and place in this hotel, we're going to be here and we're going to be buying your silver from you. Watch out for those places. They will pull one over your eyes very, very quickly, as they're going to give you much less than what the silver's worth. So understand what's involved there. Be careful who you buy and how you buy. Now, who can you trust to buy your gold and especially silver from? Well, you can trust folks that are honest, which is obvious, right? But most bullion dealers, most major bullion dealers are indeed trustworthy. And the names out there, there's plenty out there. Most of you, a little bit of research you can find. In fact, you can just do an internet search on the most trusted bullion dealers' names. But I'm going to give you a list of them. Some of the prices are higher for some of these dealers than others. I'm not sponsored by any bullion dealer, so I can freely list the names. There's Monument Metals, there's APMEX, there's Bull Precious Metals, there's Hero Bullion, there's SD Bullion, there's JM Bullion. There's a number of different ones that are out there. Bullion exchanges. There's a number of very good, honest bullion dealers. Some have better prices on some products than others, but they're all certified. And also, too, make sure that some of these places are registered with the CFTC. That's the Commodity Futures and Trading Commission. Some of them are, and they've been vetted. So as long as they've been vetted by various different places, word of mouth is also very important. Education is key. Watch videos like this on YouTube and on forums and other social media platforms to see who is trustworthy to sell you your silver. There are peer-to-peer exchanges as well too, but that takes a little bit more scrutiny in order to find trustworthy sources in that environment. So there you have it. Let me know what your thoughts are about this, but I hope this video provides a good help for you. And I hope you found this video informative, insightful, and educational. I want to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.